Hello. I want to do this video just because something arrived today in the mail that seems pretty cool. Whoa, that's upside down. My new Voodoo Lab pedal power, pedal 2, whatever you want to call it, 2. Voodoo Lab 2. Like, whatever that means. Like, I guess this is the new Voodoo Lab second pedal power system. But what does this do? I keep saying pedal power. What it does is it powers your pedals. Like, you plug. Oh, well, you see this D cable plug right here. You plug this into the wall, and then from this side you see all these little knobs, or they're not knobs, but those little jacks right there. You run these tiny little cables. I'll show you the cables in a second, but you run these to each one of your pedals. Let me grab a pedal so you can see. Here's my delay, which the Hirsch Custom Shop covered in tape. But see how this is the jack right here for the guitar cable, that one, and then that's the jack for the plug. It goes from the power source to your pedals. Why is this one? Why do I have this? It's pretty damn big. Like that's pretty big. It takes up a lot of space. But with my pedal board, this one, my pedal board was designed for this power supply. I guess they're made by the same company. So it actually, well, you won't be able to see, but it fits pretty perfectly underneath like this. And it came with some mounting brackets that you just screw on, and it fits pretty perfectly, and it looks really cool. So that the wires run underneath. See how that there's this it's graded kind of, like you can run the cables through the holes and to your pedals. So yeah. So it doesn't really take that much space. It is pretty big. It is pretty heavy. But why? This has isolated power, which means that, see each one of these little channels, each one is completely independent from the next one. Whereas if you watch the video I had with the brick, it's basically this thing called a daisy chain, where it's just like, basically like, pretend like there's like a swimming pool of power, and it's just there's a bunch of hoses connected to that swimming pool, and it's just kind of flowing. But what happens when you do that is it doesn't flow evenly. It's like all the hoses that are connected, like one has like really high pressure and one has like kind of high pressure. One's not getting enough pressure, and the more you start adding to it, the more complicated it gets. It just, and what ends up happening is when you plug in all your pedals into your guitar amp, you start to get this like the thing that guitar players, me, but most guitar players just hate. Like it's like that noise. Like, is my equipment broken? No, it's not. Your pedals aren't being powered enough. But well, and that the main reason I upgraded is just because the other one's power cable broke. It wasn't that bad of a power source, and I wasn't having problems with it. But the cost to get that new power cable wasn't worth it, because it was one that was specially designed for the thing and all that. You know, it's like you have to buy the original one. Like you can't buy a knockoff one because it's not going to work right. Anyways, this Voodoo Power, a couple cool things that it does is it's got different kinds of channels. And if you look at the front, we got 9 volts, and then we got I think they're all 9 volts. I don't know. Oh, you can increase the power on them. You can pump up the juice, and you can get different voltage. I'm pretty sure. I think you can crank it up to 12 or something like that. I'll read the manual and tell you exactly. You can crank it up to 12 or maybe 18. The reason for that, some pedals have a variable power, like this one. again. This one's the Hirsch Custom Shop, covered in tape, but this is the full tone GT500. It's a dual pedal. One side's a boost, this side's the boost, and this side's the distortion. But I don't think you'll be able to read it. But you can use anywhere from 9 to 18 volts. So you can use 9, 10, 11, 12 is the popular one, and then 18. And you get different sounds. So this pedal is very, very variable. It has a lot of variation to it. You can get a lot of tones to it. I'm actually trying to sell this one because it's too complicated for me. There's just too much you can do with it, which for me is just, you know, you have a bunch of knobs. Like, I don't want that many knobs on my pedal board. Anyways, so that's what that does. And what I'm really curious to screw around with is, I posted another picture of this, a picture of this thing. Where is it? It's in, I keep all my fuzz boxes and distortions in my stock drawer because they're the most important pedals and I don't want anything happening to them. But I got this thing, if you saw another picture. What it basically does, I haven't tried it out yet, is it imitates having a dying battery. What that means is, what it does is it basically it starves your pedals of electricity, and they start to produce interesting sounds, like sounds that they're not supposed to, sounds that this is the hippie inside of me, like all this regulation that they put on these pedals so that they don't shock you and kill you and all that, this goes around that basically. Like all those regulations and crap that they put, like this breaks that and it makes it so you can start getting like sounds it's not designed to sound like. And now on this power source, you can't really see it so well. Maybe you can. Those two little circles right over here, these little circles, they do just that. It's called sagging, where you can decrease or increase the juice so that you overload your pedal, or you decrease, or you starve it. Now, that doesn't break your pedals. Don't think that you can damage your pedals doing that, because when you have a 9 volt in there and it starts to die, it's less voltage. It's designed to handle that dying voltage. And you're not going to damage your amplifier either. That's just how it is. But yeah, Voodoo Lab. I didn't want to do a video. Oh, and it also has these switches here, which I think you can also manipulate how much voltage. Each channel has its own little switch. But yeah, those are really hard to see, and they're really hard to control, but you see them. See what the back says. Pedal Power 2 Plus. Made in the United States, so you know it's got to be somewhat decent. And yeah, I didn't want to do a video just yet of like playing with it, like using it, because look at my pedal board. There's nothing on it. Like, I need to build my pedal board, because once I took the power supply off, everything just kind of, whoa, whatever. Like, I'm not using it. But yeah, I'll probably have another video soon with my pedal board set up, because I also want to. I'll do the same video with this thing, see how that sounds. So you'll get to hear this thing. Well, you don't get to hear it. Like, that's the thing. It's power. It's just electricity going to your pedals. Hopefully you won't be hearing it actually, because if you do hear it, that's not good. It's making noises it's not supposed to. But yeah, Voodoo Power. Yeah, Voodoo Lab makes a lot of other products. I've heard really, really good things about this, and I hope that it's the last power source I have to get. Excited because it has a D cable instead of that stupid cable that I had in the brick that broke. And it's got an outlet over here. So if you want to plug in some other oh yeah, there's some crazy ass pedals out there that have their own voltage. Like, they have like a voltage of like 62.5. No, that doesn't exist. But like, it's some like odd voltage. It's not 9, 12, or 18. And it's so odd that it comes with its own power supply, its own power plug. So if you have one of those weird pedals, yeah, go ahead, plug it in there. And I own two of those weird pedals, so if I have to use them or if I want to use them, yeah, this is great. But yeah, I also like it because there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inputs, and it limits me. Because this is just a personal preference, but like 8 pedals is a lot for me. 3 or 4 pedals is usually what I'm going with. One of those pedals being a tuner as well. So, and a tuner's not an effect, it's just a tuner. But I personally think that if you have more than, I was using 6 pedals at once, including my tuner. So 5 different effects. That was really overwhelming. I had distortion, fuzz, delay, wah, chorus. Like those 5 effects. I think something that's kind of, this is me getting into my personal gripe about music equipment, but I think after like all those digital amps like Line 6 and the new Fender Mustang series and like Roland amps, once those started getting popular, guitarists felt the need to use all those effects, like that they had to have them. So they started designing these pedal boards to have the same effects that a Line 6 has, but individually, and then running through a tube amp so that it sounds really good. Like, don't get me wrong, yeah, those pedals and that equipment sound great. They're really good quality and really good sounding, but like, I personally think you don't need all that. Like, you don't need to have reverb, chorus, flanger, phaser, distortion, metal distortion, fuzz, uh, whatever, wah wah, whatever the hell that they're putting on those amps nowadays. Um, you don't need all of those. You don't need to have them all at your disposal at any time because you just get tangled. But that's also when you're playing live, I believe. Like, I think that when you play live, like you want to be I want to be focusing as much as I can on just guitar guitar to amp, and anything else is just extra. Like, I don't know, special. Like you gotta place it somewhere. You don't want to just be randomly. Oh, I'm gonna turn on my chorus, my fuzz, and my distortion all at once and see how that sounds, like it's not gonna sound good, turning all 6 of them on, like I do it when we're on the last song, just to like, all the pedals are on, yeah, alright, that's a nasty sound, but yeah, that's my opinion, but yeah, I'll have this bad boy set up soon, because we got a show, if you're watching this, we got a show, we got 2 shows, we got one Friday and Saturday. Hit me up if you want to know where they're at, the details, and all that good stuff. But this will be set up by Friday. It'll be rocking. It'll be a good-ass pedal board. But yeah, cool. Thanks for watching. Peace.